And welcome to today's Card and a Cuppa. It's the second Wednesday of February and I have a card to share with you. This is the sample that went to Card and a Cuppa this morning. And then I also have the kit to share, and then I will make another card using the same kit. This is actually slightly different to what the sample was, because I did actually get my punch out and do some corner rounding and things here, but really this is essentially what was there at Card and a Cuppa. So I've used it's something a little bit different. It's called Adaptables. It's a base card that I got from Lime Tree Crafts when I was at it was the Farnborough Craft Show last year, and in effect it's a very long piece of cardstock which you can fold however you want, so it comes without any scores, so you can score however, so you can make pop-up cards and all sorts of things. But I just thought I'd make this in gatefold card effectively, which will fit into a DL sized envelope. So that's basically what it is. So there's some labels. I had some plain cardstock that I use for the inside, and I'll show you all that now. So let's go to the kit. So the kit, now I'm in the States at the moment, so this, and I've forgotten to make a note of all the actual products that I used, but hey, so this was my Adaptables card base. So as you see, it will just simply stand up as a gatefold. I cut a piece of Berry Burst, and all the instructions for the cutting and everything will be in on the YouTube video. So the kit that everybody got has just got plain cardstock, so there's no cutouts from the corners. So so you can really do what you'd like. So we have those. We have 2 square pieces of Berry Burst for the front, she says. There we go. 2 pieces of cardstock. Now these aren't quite square, they're rectangles. And so long as you've got the flowers going up and down, it's not actually going to make any difference. And then there were 2 pieces, 1 piece of Berry Burst and 1 piece of white, which were die cut. Can't remember the name of those, but hey. I did bring with me though, I've got my Peach Pie ink. I've also got my Berry Burst ink. And then I also brought with me my painted Lavender stamp set. Let's see if I can, oh, no, I think I will. Oh, whoops-a-daisy, sorry. I will leave it as it is, so it sort of, so we've got all sorts of flowers and things that I could use. And I also bought the Everyday Greetings stamp set. Both of those are from Stampin' Up. So without further ado, I'm actually just going to simply put the card together as it was for Card and a Cuppa. These here, I used a 1/2 inch punch. You can see if it does actually say 1/2 inch, just about. And then I simply cut the 4 corners, then put the cardstock behind and each corner, and then again cut it again, just so that on each of the corners then it was I had that bit cut out. Let's see, do I have some scrap to show you? I should have, but you know what, I am going to do it. So I'm just going to quickly I'm going to do the front but not the inside. Actually no, I'm going to do the inside and not the front, because the inside is going to be quicker because there's only 4, whereas on the front there are 8. So I simply just use the punch to do all 4 corners. and bits will go flying. So that's all 4 corners. Then you simply place each corner in its relevant corner, and again you then punch using what's already being punched as a guide. So you just need to make sure that you do these without changing the card around, because you'll find that these are not going to be exactly the same, because I did it by eye and it's fine. I'm not too bothered about them being exact. Oops. And then the last corner, like so. And then you simply glue that on. But before I do any gluing, I actually want to decorate it. If you look at my, let's move all these bits out of the way. If you look at my one that I used for the inside, I used the same to decorate both sides. So I'm going to do that quickly. So you have this stamp set. You have to remember this size on the front is not the size in the back. Sort of throws you a bit. This is that when I look at it and I think, oh, did I actually do that? I'm not sure after all that this is the right stamp set, but hey, this is what I've got. So this is what's going to have to do. What was the other one I had? I could use this one. Maybe that's what I'll do. Not quite as planned, but hey ho. Let's see, stamp. Yep, so I'm going to stamp leaves in the peach pie. I'm quite happy to let these be quite bright. I'm not too worried about stamping off. And that's that bit, which you can't see. And that's that one. So whatever you have by way of flowers, branches, stuff like that will be fine on this. And then these are the flowers, which I'm just going to, this may look a bit odd. Hopefully it'll work. And I'm going to stamp these in Berry Burst. Like so. Got it all over the block, but hey. Alright, so that's that bit for the inside of the card. So I'm just going to glue those together. Lots of space you have then for writing a sentiment. Which is quite nice. Sometimes when you put things, stamp things on the inside, you find that actually you sort of take up so much space with the decoration that really there's not that much space to write. So that's that. Open up my card, which is here. So that's going to get glued. on the inside here. Let's move that very burst ink pad out of the way. And then I'll put this in here like so. This is when I realised, because I really do not want to be making a mistake on this, but hey. So that's that bit. So that's the front. And then I have the two pieces that I need to glue together for the front. Now, as I said, these aren't square, they're rectangular, because this is 10 by, I want to say, 10.5. So you'll find, so this has to go so that the flowers do actually go up and down, like so. And then it can go on the front of the card. So a bit more glue. Now I'm just going to open up the card slightly so that I do know that I am putting it on the right way round. Be a bit of a disaster if I get that wrong. So there's that and that. Again, some glue on here. So that goes on here. And then when it comes to doing the piece, the label on the front, I'm only going to be stamping on the white piece. And the first thing I want to do is I want to do the sentiment. Now my sentiments are not, they're not, it's not all in one thing. So I've got birthday, and then there's my wishes. So I could have two different fonts, or I could just keep it with the birthday wishes with the same font. I'm not even going to attempt to put these on the same block, but before I do it, I'm going to decorate it. Oops, now where's my original? Put it somewhere. There we go. It's hiding away. So I did actually put some leaves here, and I stamped here. And I stamped off first for that. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's see. I'm going to use this one again with the peach pie. So although I've put ink on it, I'm going to stamp off on here, so that I know what I get on here is just going to be that much lighter. Like so. And I think I might do the flowers too. I just need to be careful again to stamp off. So I have that. So the ink up. My fingers, stamping off onto a bit of, and actually I'm going to just see how light that goes, because I might just want it on the third. And you can play around with this sort of idea. So that's 1, 2, and then I'm going to put the third one on. So it'll be very faint. And it won't detract then from the sentiment that you stamp on. So when you put it onto this, I think that's very pretty. It'll look like that. Right, birthday wishes. Let's see now. I've got birthday and I've got the wishes. I'm going to put them on there like that. And again, as I said, I'm going to do them individually. Although, I guess I might just try and do them as one. Let's take that off there. So you probably can't see what I'm doing. It's typical. I'm still playing around with this setup because I still can't get everything in a spot where you and I can see everything without me having to worry about it being in the right place. So I'm just lining up to the bottom of the TH and the D with the W and SH. That. Let's put that there and just make sure that it does fit before I do actually ink it up and stamp it, because that will be a bit of a disaster if it doesn't go very well. So that's that. Gonna bring that down. Have these pieces here sort of straight, so the vague attempt of getting the sentiment straight. Hopefully I didn't move it then. Hoping not. Slightly. Not so much that you will notice. So that will be my label to go on the front. Now, do I want to add some embellishments to keep it simple? I'm actually going to add a bit of a wink of Stella. So I've got that. And I do need to make sure that I've got some primed in there. And then I'm actually move that out of the way. I'm just going to sort of knock this against the lid. So you can do it that way to get some splatters, or you can flick it from the inside of the brush, from the inside of the lid. You can see them sort of appearing in places. Okay, that'll do. I don't want to go completely mad. Now, question, do I put these on foam pads or do I just glue them on? Do I just glue that on there, or do I add it to foam pads? I think I'm going to just simply glue that on. Need that block. So, oops, wink of Stella hasn't quite dried. Should be pretty much there now though. So let's put some glue on here. But I will use foam pads to add the label onto the card. So that's just going to go nicely in the centre of there. Let me just turn it over and give it a pat. I don't want to rub it just in case that wink of Stella hasn't quite dried, but I think we got away with that. So we're going to add this to the front of the card, but I need to make sure that I don't put my foam pads on both sides. Otherwise that means I'm just going to be making sure it's closed and it won't be able to open. I'm just going to have to eyeball this. This is the half that I want to put something on. So you can don't normally go too mad with these, but I think I might this time. Only because I want to make sure that it does stay fixed onto the card front. Right, there we go. So that is going to go roughly there. Okay, so when I open it, that is what we have on the inside. That's the front of the card. And I guess I should really do the envelope as well. So let's get hold of that. So there's my envelope. This time I'm not too worried about having this light or dark, because it's the envelope. So let's put that down like that. So some peach pie again. And let's make sure this is the right way up. Put that over here. Like so. And then we'll do the berry burst for the flowers. There's that. Oops, I see I've got a splodge of berry burst. I've obviously got some on my fingers. Heck, that's not good. So that's the flowers for the front. Okay, now I do have a sand eraser somewhere, which, if I could find it, I would be able to take off, hopefully. She says, oh, there it is. So this is a sand eraser. So it's kind of, it's, yeah, I don't know what it's made of. It's called a sand eraser, specifically for ink. Let's make sure I don't have any more. And it should. It is. That will do. By the time I've written the address and stuff on it, it'll be fine. So there we go. So that is my card for this afternoon. It looks like that. And then the card from Card A Cuppas looks like, this is what I need to like go out. So yep, hopefully you can see that. It's a bit of a mess here, but hey, I don't think any crafter has a very tidy and clean craft space. As much as we try and we may want to, it never works out that way. But anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Next week, next Monday, we have Craft and Chat. So if you're around, I hope you can make it. If not, then catch you another time. Take care. Bye.